Shabbat Shalom. I want to welcome everyone who is here in person and also on our live stream. I am honored to be joined tonight by Glori Rosenberger, who is our cantorial soloist, and we also have our newest junior cantors, who you'll see tonight as the service goes on. We welcome Shabbat in our hearts with the prayer of Shalom Aleichem, which is the prayer that welcomes the Shabbat angels into our life. And that is on page 142.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi-Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bohem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi-Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Ni L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi-Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Setchem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi-Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
For a very long time now, I'm not sure how long. Let's see, where are they? I think they might still be out there. Our ushers are going to be lighting our Shabbat candles tonight, Marilyn and Carolyn. Can you hear me, Marilyn and Carolyn? It's your turn. Oh, there you are. You're not back there. You're right here. Perfect. We invite you forward for the Shabbat candles. I never think to look behind me.
They rhyme tonight.
O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter this sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, letzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
May the door of this synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship. May it welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture. May the door of this synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity. May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet. May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness. May this synagogue be, for all who enter, the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life. We continue on page 138 as we welcome the Shabbat bride. Verses 1, 5, and 9.
La 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 lecha dodi, la 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 lekrat kala, la 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 penei Shabbat nekabe, la 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 Chadodi. Ya la 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 Lekrat Kala. Ya la 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 Panei Shabbat. Panei Shabbat Nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad hishmianu el hamiuchad Adonai echad u'shmo echad l'shimol tiferet v'lit hilah la 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 ya la 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 l'chadodi ya la 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 l'krat kala ya la 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 Panei Shabbat nekabela
Oreri kivorech kumi ori uri shir daberi kevod Adonai alayich nigla ya la la
ya la 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 l'chadodi ya la 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 l'krat kala ya la 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 Panei Shabbat nekabela.
We rise to greet the Shabbat bride. We face the door.
Boi v'shalom ateret bala gam besimcha uvetzola toch emunei am segula boi v'shalom boi chala ya la 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 l'chadodi ya la 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 l'krat kala ya la 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 Panei Shabbat nekabel ya la 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 l'krat kala ya la 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 Panei Shabbat nekabela.
Baruchu ve'ahava rabah. At this time in our service, we are called to rise or stay risen in honor of the greatest love, the love of God. Our Talmud teaches us, when Rav Sheshet bowed, he bowed all at once without delay, putting his whole self into the prayer. And when he stood upright like as a snake, lifting himself slowly, demonstrating that the awe of God was upon him in the manner that he bowed and stood upright. We can show our love in the mindfulness of our bow, but what if we cannot stand to pray? For years, the rabbis have said, please rise for the Baruchu, Amidah, Aleinu, Kaddish. But what if we physically cannot or don't feel up to the task? Is our prayer less meaningful? The answer is no. We can still rise and bow how we move best. We can rise our posture from our seats. We can rise and bow from within our hearts. Wherever you are at and however you stand, your prayer is worthy, meaningful, and more than enough if you give it with full intention. So tonight, when I ask you to rise, it can be physically, as most of you are, or it can be in your heart. And now we stay risen for the Baruchu. Page 146.
la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Ya la 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 la. Ya 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 la 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 la.
We turn now to page 152 for Shema, led by junior cantor Maya.
Shema, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Please be seated. We will continue with Ve'ahavta. So a fun fact about Shema is that you don't have to stand for it, nor do you have to sit. Usually you stay in whatever position you were just in. So as we were just in L'cha Dodi to Baruch Hu, we stay risen for the Shema, and then we are seated. Another thing about Shema is that it's wrapped in prayers of love. So the prayer that came before it, that we did silently within our hearts, Ahavat Olam, and in the morning, Ahava Rabbah, is about ever-present, abundant, great love of God. Then the words of Shema, and now the words of Ve'ahavta, and you shall love, and you shall do these commandments to show your love for God. Page 154.
Ve'ahavta Adonai Elohecha bechol levacha uvachol nafshecha uvechol meotecha vehayu hadvarim ha'eleh asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uvletecha b'derech ukshafecha ukumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha uchtatam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha. Leman tiskeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yetem kadoshim leloechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzetiatem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem, Amen.
Love your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work, whether you are tired or you are rested. Let them guide the work of your hands. Let them be in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to do all of my mitzvot, so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai, your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai, your God. Umalchuto beratzon kibelu alehem Moshe uMiriam uvenei Yisrael echanu shira b'simcha rabba ve'amru chulam. We sing the Song of Freedom, page 158.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai.
Oh, wait, we learned this last week. Come on, guys. All right. Goes like this. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai. Clap, 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 clap. Mi
Kamocha nedar b'kodesh nora tehilot osefele.
Just freed.
Kamocha ba'elim Adonai. Mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh nora tehilot osefele.
Oh, Julian was ready to do it again. Let's do it one more time for Julian. Just the Mi Chamocha part.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai. Mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh.
I always make this joke with the kids in religious school that, okay, there's really no melody that can truly describe what it would be like if you watched the sea part in two and were able to walk across. That's pretty miraculous. So for the melodies that we do have, you got to put a little oomph in it. You got to put a clap in. This one actually has a whole dance that I haven't even taught you, but I'll leave it for next time. We continue with the prayer of love, of shelter as we lie down tonight. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up, waiting to do your will.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu leshalom. V'ha'amitenu shomrenu lechayim. Shabbat shomecha Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Hashkivenu Leshalom. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
We are a people in whom the past endures, in whom the present is inconceivable without moments gone by. The Exodus lasted a moment enduring forever. What happened once upon a time happens all the time. And so we say the words of Vishamru, reminding us that keeping Shabbat is our obligation, but it is also our joy. This one does have a dance, so we are going to ask that you join us. Yeah, everyone come up, it's fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here we go.
Veshamru b'nei Israel et hashabat la'asot et hashabat ledorotam berit olam. Veshamru b'nei Israel et hashabat la'asot et hashabat ledorotam berit olam. Beni uvein b'nei Israel oti le'olam. Veshamru b'nei Israel et hashabat la'asot et hashabat bedorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. Veshamru b'nei Israel et hashabat la'asot et hashabat bedorotam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash Shabbat vayinafash. Veshamru b'nei Israel et hashabat la'asot et hashabat ledorotam berit olam. One more time. Veshamru b'nei Israel et hashabat la'asot et hashabat ledorotam berit olam.
All right, that was fun. Originally, Jewish prayer was largely unstructured, although the rabbis eventually codified the format and themes of each of the blessings. It was initially left to the creativity of individual prayer leaders to generate the specific wordings of the blessings. In 2021, we have the opportunity to do both, to pray with the words in front of us on the page and also the words that move our hearts. We physically, or in our hearts, rise at this time for the Amidah on page 164 through page 180.
Adonai sefai tiftach ufi agid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakov, V'zocher Chatztei Avot v'Imaot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ava, Melech Ozero Umoshia Umagein, Baruch atah Adonai, Magein Avraham v'Ritzot Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechaye Hakol, Atah Rav Le'oshia, Morid Hatal, Mechalkel Chaim v'Chesed, Mechaye Hakol v'Rahamim Rabim, Somech Noflim v'Rofei Holim, Umatir Asurim, Umechayim Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Baal Gevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Mimit, Umechaye, Umasmi Av Yeshua, V'ne'ema Natal L'chayot HaKol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye HaKol.
אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלע. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
We continue in silent prayer using the words on the right or the left side of the page, or the words within our heart. When you have completed your prayers, please be seated. If you are on the live stream, you're welcome to submit names of those you are thinking of for Misha Berach at this time for prayers of healing. At this time in our service, we think of those who are in the bed of illness, who need our prayers for healing, our prayers for strength. If you are watching on the live stream and there is someone or several people that you are thinking of tonight for healing blessings, please submit their names in the chat. We think of here at Congregation Near to Mead the names submitted: Irving Zaid, Regina Baker, Derek Baker, Eli Bat Shachaf, Sigalit, Sharna Blumenfeld, Jill Ewan, Bessie De La Milera, Vivian Van Duzen, Sunny Spiewak, Jake Whitley, Sarah Brown. In our congregation, please rise if there's a name you want to say. Donald Schwartz, Dave Roth, Jack Cohen, Annie Drazen, Jane Cranston, Alexander Ackerman, Linda Huschkel, Rich Krasner, Bonnie Selleck, Jennifer Marcus, Muhammad Saleh, Frank Ellison Jr.
May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen.
Aaron Huber, Al Lecture, Gary Bernstein, Howard Spanier,
Mi sheberach imotenu mekor habracha avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Someone was very upset with me and emailed me a terribly rude email, and I was very angry, hurt. I felt misunderstood. As someone who aims to create shalom bayit in all situations, peace around me, when others get upset with me, it cuts like a knife, and I feel the need to defend myself. I don't remember the details of all of this, as it was about 9 years ago, but I do remember the feeling and the urgency to write back immediately and explain things, while giving a piece of my mind. I sent the email to my mentor before sending it back to the person intended, and she said, sleep on it first. If you still feel like it's a good email to send back, send it in the morning, maybe with a different mindset. Turns out I did feel differently in the morning, and I was able to reword my response to be more effective and less defensive. As I reflect on that experience, it reminds me of the story of the rock sprouting water from this week's Parsha, Chukat. The people of Israel are thirsty as their well had dried up with the death of Miriam. With no good solution on how to get water to the people, they turn to God for help. God tells Aaron and Moses to speak to the rock by sanctifying God's name in order to see water from it. According to Rashi, when they try that, the rock rolls away onto a pile of other rocks, and then Moses doesn't know which rock to speak to and speaks to the wrong one. The people begin to mock Moses, and he begins to strike all of the rocks from the pile, unsure of which one will draw that holy water. Out of impatience, Moses does not sanctify God's name, and instead strikes the rock. Water did come out, which is a miracle because rocks don't generally produce water. But it was with disregard to God's request, showing lack of faith. And therefore, Moses and Aaron were denied passage into the land of Israel as their punishment. They achieved the end goal of water for the people, but they didn't do it in a respectable way. It turns out it does matter how you achieve the result. If I would have sent my strongly worded defensive response email, I would have achieved the goal of being heard, but I would have created negative feelings and severed the relationship. By stepping back, being patient, and taking a deep breath, I salvaged the relationship and still made my point and felt heard. It is our human reflex to be impatient, have knee-jerk reactions, and say things that make ourselves feel better, but it may hurt others. A couple of weeks ago, someone was also rude to me, sharing unsolicited advice about my appearance. This person had been rude before, making comments about my body while I was pregnant. I responded with a blog about how it's never appropriate to comment on people's bodies because aside from it being insensitive, it can trigger for people with eating disorders or emotional disorders. I summed up my blog by saying, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Just keep it to yourself. And based on what we learned from Moses in our Parsha this week, I would add to that advice, and think before you speak, or do. So ask yourself, is what I am about to say going to benefit the conversation or the relationship? Is this going to hurt the person I'm speaking to? Will sharing what I'm about to say be for the greater good? If your answer is no to any of those questions, don't do it. Don't say it. I would say, trust me, but instead I'll say, trust Moses. Instead of talking to the rock, he beat it. He got the same result, but he betrayed God. Listening to God also means listening to our kol demama daka, the still small voice within. We must be gentle with ourselves and others. The commandments teach us to love our neighbor as ourselves, but many times a person treating another person negatively is a reflection upon oneself. If we are feeling down, it boosts us up by talking down to someone else. But that doesn't feel good for anyone. And if that's the case, and you feel yourself doing this from time to time, or even often, it's time to reflect on the inside. I had the privilege of working from the cooler temperatures at the beach for a couple of days this week. I reflected a lot on the ocean and its connection to our humanity. As I turned to the words from our Haftorah portion this week, the book of Isaiah, I read these words. Thus said Adonai, your Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel, I, the Eternal, am your God, instructing you for your own benefit, guiding you in the way you should go. If only you would heed my commandments, then your prosperity would be like a river, your triumph like the waves of the sea. The waves of the sea, triumphant. What does that mean, and how does that connect to us as a people? As the waves crash on the shore, they bring in fresh new water and make an imprint on the sand, changing its shape, revealing the beautiful shells and sparkling sands. Each wave, whether small or strong, carries a foamy residue, recycling the remnants from the depth of the ocean. Their resounding sound simultaneously makes us confront our fears while also bringing us great comfort and peace. The sea creates a rhythm in which all life, both sea and land, marches on accordingly. If we listen to the call of our Creator, we can be like these waves, purging our negativity, revealing what is beautiful about ourselves, and listening to the world around us. We could project a different attitude, be kinder to one another, and truly listen to the voice within ourselves, the kol demama daka. It guides our steps, and this time in a positive direction. May you lie down tonight, imagining the waves washing over you. May you feel the love and comfort of the Holy One, and may it help you reflect on how you can wake up tomorrow with a fresh outlook and a heart motivated by positivity. Shabbat Shalom. And now we turn to begin to conclude our service on page 586 with Aleinu, where God declares that it is on us to make the change. We rise in our hearts or in our bodies.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
At this time, if you have names of people that you are thinking of for Kaddish, please put them in the chat. When I die, give what's left of me away to children and old men that wait to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your brother walking the street beside you. And when you need me, put your arms around anyone and give them what you need to give me. I want to leave you something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people I've known or loved. And if you cannot give me away, at least let me live in your eyes and not your mind. You can love me best by letting hands touch hands and letting go of children that need to be free. Love doesn't die, people do. So when all that's left of me is love, give me away. Page 598, we prepare for Kaddish, first by saying the names on our Kaddish list and our Yortzeit list. Flori Sassner, Arthur Fink, Martin Berger, Alma Bernay, Jerry Bernstein, Lillian Blitzstein, Arnold Brainin, Edward Schall, Michael Chevalieri, Robert Castancone, Jacob Dunn, Ronald Adam Edelman, Matthew Gale, Celia Glasser, Francis Gushin, Mary Higgins, Jerry Honigman, Alfred Kempenich, Jean Krupnik, Yale Levenberg, Alvin Levy, Marcia Lewis, George Lutz, Sheldon Mann, Jane Marshall, Floyd Meeks, Doreen Oberding, Marilyn Ratner, Samuel Bernard Ross, Malvine Rowe, David Leon Rutman, Dan Sheldon, Alex Sherman, Jack Snyder, Leonard Spector, Benjamin Stern, Harry Sternberg, Ida Tobman, Julia Villarino, David Weinstein, Zelda Weiss Nemerson, and Zaid. I look to all of you if there are any names you're remembering tonight. In our chat, Jean Roth. Maggie Jones. Page 598. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mivarach le'olam u'lalnei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudsha barichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we say, Amen. Please be seated. We invite forward Jerry Gordon, our temple president, to give us the announcements.
Good Shabbos, everyone. Welcome to those who are with us in the synagogue and to those who are remotely participating in our service. I would like to remind you that we are reopening over the summer the campus, and services are open each Friday night, but per the COVID committee, we would request, if you're not vaccinated, that we encourage you to continue to wear your mask while at the temple. The big news is preschool is back. As you know, the preschool was shut down, but we're reopening this August. We are happy to welcome Karen Stern as the director to our staff. Karen is from Temple Beth Shalom in Encino. She's joining us, and she's moving here this weekend. She'll be on campus Monday. She and Ed Simon have been in the process of interviewing teachers, starting to work on curriculum and all that. I would also say that we are obviously looking forward to having students attend, and is additional encouragement, the first 18 students to sign up will receive a partial scholarship. In addition, the preschool, starting July 5th, will be under a refurbishing. We are redoing the rooms and the outdoor area, and that will take about 3 weeks. So we look forward to the reopening of the Cantor preschool. Registration for religious school is open, so please visit the website and register your children for religious school this fall. So far, the pre-registration has been really encouraging and remarkable, and so we expect to see a very large attendance in the fall. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to our YouTube page. We are only approximately 100 subscribers away from 1,000, so that's really remarkable. So let's break it through 1,000. And finally, Onyx are back. Right now, they're in a take-home fashion, but soon we'll be out on the patio. That's really what it says. I don't think it's going to be that soon we're going to be on the patio. If you wish to sponsor an Onyx, please contact Roberta in the office. And finally, I'd like to thank the Cantor. I'm so used to doing that. The Cantor, Glori, Hannah, Maya, and Maddie. I apologize. For leading us in services tonight, and to Rick for accompanying us on the piano. And with that, again, Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Jerry, and also thank you to Dell, our shamus, to Eddie. If you haven't met Eddie, he's our new executive director. He was out in the foyer, so you'll probably meet him at the Oneg, and also to Alex, who set up our sound tonight. Another big thank you to Glori. You'll see her again next week, but with a different person right here. You can guess who. And we hope that Rabbi is having a great time with his mom and his sisters in Northern California this week, and with a much-needed vacation. My much-needed vacation's next week. All right, so let's go to our Kiddush and our motzi. We'll be bringing the motzi out to you very shortly, but for now we'll do it on the bima, so come on this way.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Amen. You may have noticed that we're dressed a little bit like a rainbow. We wanted to acknowledge that this is Pride Month and that love is love, and we accept and honor all people from all walks of life. And so we decided that we should dress like a rainbow. And let's conclude our service on that same theme, Olam Chesed Yibaneh. We will build this world with love.
Olam chesed yibaneh, yalalai, lalai, yalalai, lai. 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 I will build this world from love, yalalai, lalai, yalalai, lai. And you must build this world from love, yalalai, lalai, yalalai, lai. And if we build this world from love, yalalai, lalai, yalalai, lai, then God will build this world from love, yalalai, lalai, yalalai, lai.
Shabbat Shalom. Please enjoy the oneg and ice cream oneg. If you're on the web stream, I hope you have an opportunity to have some ice cream too. But if you're here in person, lucky you. Shabbat Shalom.